home is where the person resides the majority of their time. And it includes the immediate area around the house or to where a vehicle can be reasonably parked. And for some people that might include a ramp up into the house. So study criteria, if you're looking at children, we're looking at if the equipment's needed at home and at school. One of the examples I can think of for a young lady where I've used the study criteria, she was at a university and she was learning to drive. She was living in a hall residence, so whatever solution we came up with had to be compact, but she was struggling to get to her lectures. So we ended up going power assist for her because it ticked all the boxes and it allowed her to do what she needed to do. So you need to be working at least 30 hours per week. And if you're not working 30 hours per week, then you need to get a letter from a registered medical professional saying that that person is not able to work 30 hours per week, that they're working to their maximum capacity. All this stuff is in the manual, but if you're like me, it's sometimes what you glaze over, so it's just useful to hear it again. If a person's in full-time employment, we also need written confirmation to say that. Involuntary employment is 20 hours per week, and there's a list of agencies that are listed again in the manual. The main carer is actually an unpaid person. So it's an unpaid person that lives with the person providing the majority of their care. They may have a disability themselves, and it could be to allow them to look after a dependent person, where a dependent person is someone aged under 13 or with a long-term disability. So one of the examples I can think of for power assist is a young mum where we'd looked at all other options for her, and one of the important things she needed to do was take the children to school, and she needed to walk the children to school, but she was struggling to self-propel. So when we looked at the other options, power assist for her meant that she could take the children to school, her husband was working, and that allowed her to do that. Eligibility criteria. This is the bit where sometimes people will say to me in clinic, where does it actually say that in the manual? So you need to look at the range of options to meet the disability related need. So for power assist, this could be, can somebody else be pushing the person in the chair? Are there changes to the environments that you could be making? Have you looked at a lighter weight chair? So those are some of the options you could be thinking of. What's the essential need and is there potential to benefit? So how's the person actually coping now, and how is their life going to look differently if you provide them with that piece of equipment? What are the implications of not providing? So for my mother, she was getting someone else to take the kids to school. They were trying to juggle between friends. So with power assist, she could then take the children to school. The young lady that was at university, she was being pushed by her peers, which wasn't overly acceptable to her. So those were the implications for them. And what are your cost-effective solutions? So have you looked at removing the heavy backrest, removing the heavy armrests off the chair? Is a lighter wheelchair an option? And is a power wheelchair an option? From a cost-effective point of view, we'll often have reissue power chairs in the store, and we can turn them over and reissue them. So from our point of view, we want to know that you've eliminated a power wheelchair as an option cost-effectively.
Taking things back to the beginning when it comes to your assessment, this is something I think as I've grown as an assessor and as a therapist, I've gone back to what are we trying to do? And I think for your client, it's getting in that mindset. It's not around, I want to trial emotion wheels, I'm struggling to self-propel, I'm struggling with this. It's, I want to be able to do this, and it's putting it into a very specific context. For power assist, I think this is really important given the range of options available and how different they all are. For some, one device could be the best thing out, it could also be a potential for harm. So I think it's coming back to, what are we trying to do? Also coming back to is where do they need to be able to go? As a lot of you are soon to discover, some of these devices do better in different environments than others. Some of them are brilliant inside. Put them outside on the camber, they're actually a lot like hard work. There's others that are brilliant outside. Bring them inside, not so much. It's again, is what are we trying to do and where are we trying to do it? For some clients this may be a little bit of a struggle. I think for some who have come through where the goals may not have always been client driven, so we do have a group, I think, that a lot of it's been therapist driven, and it's having them to say, actually you tell me what do you want, where do you want to go, what do you want to do, and getting quite specific. For some this might be really hard, but I think when they get in the swing of it they'll be okay.